Ecclesiastes 1:18 says, "For in much wisdom is much grief, and he who increases knowledge increases sorrow." After reading this scripture for the first time, I thought, what a strange thing to say. Proverbs 2 and 4 instructs us to seek wisdom as silver and to search for her as for hidden treasures. So I was perplexed. How could something this good cause sorrow and grief? After all, wasn't the main message of the book of Proverbs all about making wisdom, knowledge, and understanding a priority in our lives? Even Hosea 4 and 6 confirms this. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Proverbs and Ecclesiastes are compilations of wise sayings that King Solomon shared about what he observed in the lives of the people around him. There are many life lessons that we can learn just through observation. We can learn from other people's mistakes and good choices instead of our own. That is wisdom too. Have you ever heard the saying that ignorance is bliss? I never understood what that really meant until I started my own journey to pursue wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I sought the knowledge of God and a greater understanding of His biblical truths. As 2 Corinthians 4 and 6 states, "For it is the God who commanded light to shine out of darkness, who has shone in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ." I studied art, religion, history, politics, archaeology, and other related and non related subjects. I had an insatiable hunger to learn more and to understand what I was studying. I prayed earnestly and persistently for God to fill me with His divine wisdom. The more I dug deeper into some of these subjects, the more I realized that what I thought I knew about life and the world around me was completely false. I began to uncover hidden truths and started to recognize political, social, and religious propaganda. I realized that the truth was stranger than fiction in many ways. It was much more darker and more sinister than I wanted to believe. There were layers upon layers of hidden knowledge that I was uncovering that kept pointing me to a dark underworld, the underbelly of black markets, secret orders, and societies that operated under different laws. There were worlds within worlds, hidden in plain sight. As I took in more and more of this dark knowledge, the joy of the Lord gave way to fear, anxiety, and despair. I could no longer believe in the mirage and no longer live content in the matrix of deception. King Solomon was a man of the mind, full of God given wisdom, and he had his own journey and experiences. He sought knowledge of both the spiritual and physical worlds, and he concluded that all his studying was labor that brought sorrow. Seeking knowledge is a labor of the mind that can be just as exhausting as physical labor. Studying, researching, and digging for hidden truths takes time, persistence, and a willingness to accept whatever the truth reveals. This challenged me in so many ways, as the knowledge that I unearthed disturbed my spirit. There were times when God had to restrain me from going any further into my studies to protect me from the pain of what I was being exposed to, especially as it related to the children. This knowledge would have wounded me, causing more harm than good. And so, for the sake of my mental health and well being, I would take necessary breaks for months at a time to process what I had already learned. There is a knowledge of the truth that sets people free, as Jesus stated in John 8 and 32, "And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." There is also a knowledge that can destroy souls. There is a knowledge that comes from above and knowledge that comes from below. The byproducts of both types of knowledge have very different outcomes. One produces life and the other death. One lifts and the other casts down. One produces humility and moral virtue, and the other puffs up with pride and haughtiness. I'm Zahrah. Proverbs 4:7 says, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and in all you're getting, get understanding." Jesus invites us to labor for the knowledge that brings life, liberty, and virtue, not sorrow and grief.